All right, guys. So today's passage is about something that as you grow into a teenager and a grown-up, it's going to be something that you deal with. And it's a word called lust. And lust is when you look at somebody that you're not married to in a way that doesn't honor God. And so what this says is we're in Matthew 5, verses 27 through 30. It says we'll keep going. Well, we're going to stop there. Okay. You have heard it that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you, anyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. For it is better that you lose one of your members than your whole body be thrown into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. For it is better that you lose one of your members than your whole body go to hell. And so what that's saying is, if there is something in your life that causes you to sin or pushes you to sin, like God would rather you just get rid of that altogether and not play with it. Sometimes culture or the world will tell you, oh, well, that's not that bad, or it's just a little white lie, or you can do that. It's not like a really terrible sin. And that's not how God views sin. God views sin as something that's awful and separates us from him. And it's the thing that keeps us from following. It's why Jesus had to die. And so we need to keep that into consideration when we're going. So we're going to go ahead and keep going into the next part. And this is what God has to say about marriage. So we're going to read this. And then next week, we're going to be talking about not getting people back and how do we deal with enemies. So this next part's about divorce. And so this is what it says. It was also said, whoever divorces his wife must let him give her a certificate of divorce. But I say to you that everyone who divorces his wife, except for on the grounds of sexual immorality, makes her commit adultery. And whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery. And then it goes on about oaths, keeping your promises. And it says, again, you have heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not swear falsely, but shall perform unto the Lord what you have sworn. But I say to you, do not take an oath at all, either by heaven, for it is thrown to God, or by the earth, for it is the footstool of Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. And do not take an oath by your head, for you cannot make one hair white or black. Let what you say be simple yes or no. Anything more than that comes from evil. So what the divorce part is talking about is God means for you to get married and stay married to the same person for your whole life. And you shouldn't get divorced just because you can't get along or you disagree on something. The only reason that you should get divorced is if one of the people in the marriage decided to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend while they're married. That's what adultery is, and it's wrong. And so God's saying that's the only reason you should get divorced. And in fact, if you get divorced, you're making somebody act like they had a boyfriend or girlfriend when they'd already been married, and that's not God's way. Instead, you're supposed to stay married to that person forever and work it out. And then the second thing is about oaths. So that means doing what you say you're going to do. So, you might hear kids on the playground, or you might have said, or heard somebody say, I swear I'll do this. I swear, I promise, I'm going to do it. Da, 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 da. And normally people who have to talk like that haven't been people who keep their word. And so just like we want to keep our word, and if you say, I do, I'll be married to you, you want to keep your word and stay married to them, whoever you marry when you grow up. The oath is also talking about you want your yes to be yes and your no to be no. So if you said, hey, I will go and unload the dishwasher, Mom and Dad, and you said you're going to go do it and you don't do it, then you're not keeping your word. You want to be somebody who says, yes, I will unload the dishwasher. You go and unload the dishwasher and you do what you said you were going to do. Or if you said, no, I'm not going to do that, you want to keep your word on that. And so you want to be a person who's known for keeping their word. A word about that is called trustworthiness. You want to be someone who's trustworthy. You want to be someone who honors other people, that we don't keep sin and things around us that cause us to sin, like we talked about at the beginning. And then we grow up into adults who keep our word and are faithful to our husband or wife. And so that's what Jesus is talking about in this part. Next week, we'll talk about getting people back and how to love our enemies. Boys and girls, I hope you're having a great week. And I love you guys. Talk to you soon.